And welcome, Trophy Kids, presented by Bad News Media. It is July 21st, and we are back. Football season is basically right around the corner as soon as you start to hear our voices. I have got my good friend Michael here with me. How are you doing today, good sir?
I am doing well. It's good to be back. And you're right. Usually, I'm always longing for football, but it went by a little quicker this year, and I'm very thankful for it.
Yes, absolutely. I set the little reminder on my calendar, get that alert, and then it's like, oh, it's time to shoot the text. Are we doing the breakdowns again this year? So if you're new to the show, welcome. Every year we do a breakdown of each division leading right up to kickoff. We are going to start with the AFC West, this division. Ooh. This is a division. I mean, when we talk about, in the grand scheme of things, of top tier divisions this year, I think they are going to be right up there, have an argument for maybe top to bottom best. And we're going to start with the Raiders. The Raiders have got a completely new coaching staff. This is a team that's got its win total set at 8.5. Last year, they had themselves a season. Made the playoffs, went 10-7, beat their win total, which sat at 7, so you cash those tickets if you took that. This year, they've made some surprising moves in the offseason. The main one is going out and getting Derek Carr, his top-tier wide receiver option, and Davante Adams. They also added Chandler Jones on the edge, and they come into the season with some relatively high expectations in what will unfortunately be an absolutely brutal division. How do you see this team breaking it down this year?
I love, obviously, how could you not love the pickup of Adams? He's the first top wide receiver they've had there since, Amari Cooper, Michael Crabtree days. And even then they weren't Davante Adams type level. You got to love that. And you love Hunter Renfrow coming back for another season. You got to imagine he's improved his game. And just last year he was, obviously at Darren Waller, but as terms of wide receivers, he was who the defense was keying in on, and he was still cooking everyone. So now you bring in Davante Adams, and you got to wonder, this offense is scary in my opinion. I love the pickup of that. And then you got to look at, like you said, Chandler Jones. They lost Yannick Ngakoue, but they bring in Chandler Jones. That's probably an upgrade in my opinion. You got to love this team. And last year, they went through tons of adversity. They had a coaching change. Gruden just got pretty much thrown out of the NFL. Even though John Gruden, legendary coach, whatever, I do kind of think, in this day and age, he might not be who you want running a team.
No.
Yeah, no. So I love bringing in McDaniels. Finally he commits to a team and becomes the head coach again. I like the offensive mind that he brings in. And then, like you said, the problem is it's such a brutal division. This team really doesn't have a game on their schedule where I'm like, yes, they're definitely going to win it until October 23rd.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's a pretty brutal schedule in the grand scheme of things. And this is a team, and I forgot to do it in their intro, that went through a ton of adversity last year and still made the playoffs, which was very impressive. They had some things break their way, and they got some luck, but everybody needs some luck and have some things broke their way. And we're going to talk about the Chargers, which really kind of shot themselves in the foot to make their playoff dreams happen, and the Raiders put them away. But, yeah, this is a team that is exciting, but unfortunately has a brutal schedule and has some holes. The main one is that offensive line. That offensive line, because they gave up so much for Davante Adams, which I think was a good move, didn't really get to upgrade the offensive line, and that is not a good thing for this team because that offensive line last year struggled. They were second to last, I believe. I got to look it up real quick. I had it right in front of me 2 seconds ago. Yeah, second to last in run block win rate. They allowed 40 sacks in 2021. And Derek Carr, while he is very effective against the blitz, top 10 quarterback in accuracy metrics against the blitz, he does drop to 15th and then even outside at 31 outside the pocket under pressure. So if you're getting pressure, that is a concern. As well as the defense had some upgrades, but overall, I'm not overly necessarily impressed when I look at the grand scheme of who they're going to have to play. Got a good secondary, got a good front seven. I would say both are in the top 15 of the league, which is very, very good. I'd put their wide receivers, maybe a top 5 unit. It's arguably right there. Quarterback's decent, but the offensive line and running back room are what scare me there. And given they didn't upgrade that offensive line, it is Josh McDaniels' first time being back as a head coach since Denver.
Right.
we'll see. There could be some growing pains, and it's like you said, it's not a schedule that allows for a ton of growing pains up first. I mean, they got Chargers, Cardinals, Titans, Broncos, Chiefs in the first 5 games of the season. That is not a first 5 schedule that lets you grow into what you're going to do offensively.
Yeah, it's brutal. And bringing up the offensive line, obviously, that's massive. Last year, Josh Jacobs led the NFL in being hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
And, I mean, that killed them at times. And if you don't improve there, I mean, they brought in Alex Leatherwood, which remember that pick that everyone just kind of, laughed at. It's just, that's a big weakness on their team.
Absolutely. And this is a team that went 4-0 in overtime games last season, which is the most wins in overtime games in NFL history for one season. They also went 5-1 in games decided by a field goal or less, and they went 7-2 overall in one-score games. They ranked 7th in fumble luck. So there are things that are probably going to regress. It's why I haven't committed to it yet, but I think there's value in taking the under 8 wins. I put them at, if they get 8 wins this season in the first year, I don't think that's a terrible season when I look at what they have to do. So I'm going under 8 for this team as a whole.
Do you have 8 or 8.5?
8.5. Sorry, I have them winning 8. I have them winning. I think winning 8 games is a good season for them, and that's why I'm going under 8. I think they win about 7.
All right, yeah. I just wanted to make sure there because 8.5. I will take. I lean towards that under as well. I think this is 7 to 8 win team based on the schedule. I mean, I think they are a good team, but I mean, as we get further into the division, it's so good.
It's tough. I mean, and the problem too is they just have such talented teams in their division, and so I mean, 6 of their games this season are going to be against teams that are just, I don't know, so much as it might be a little bit stretched, but you've got 6 games against the Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs, all with much more talented rosters off the bat.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure they also play the NFC West, so they have the Rams.
Yep.
They all have the Rams. They all have San Fran. They all have Cardinals. So, yeah, the schedule is, for all these teams, just crazy.
It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. But I do like McDaniels. The other thing that makes me a little bit nervous, and we'll see if the trend changes. I mean, New England Patriots have not had the greatest quarterback situation the last couple of years, but this is an offense. If you look at the Patriots' last 3 years, they ranked towards the bottom of the league in passing rate on first downs. We know in the NFL, bypassing third down is one of the most important. Derek Carr is above the league average on first down pass success rate. As soon as you get to second and third down, it dips below or right about the league average. So getting positive yards on first down is going to be crucial for them, and a coach that generally has not. Now, that could be a Bill Belichick philosophy. We'll see if he adjusts that. I mean, he's got the weapons. I mean, like I said, the receiving core it's a top 10 unit, arguably slides in the top 5. Fantastic unit. Waller's going to have more looks. Hunter Renfrow is going to be, I think, a very valuable piece once again this season because Devontae Adams is going to take so much heat off them. But, what does the McDaniel system look like? What has he learned from his time in Denver? These are all big question marks. So anytime that's the situation,